Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Well, it's a beautiful morning here on Wednesday, the 27th of July at Giga-Texas with, again, a lot of activity. But I'm going to focus on three main areas today in the intro and then a lot more in the video. The first is on the southwest corner of General Assembly. We see at least 20 new of those prefabricated superchargers installed now where we thought they would, where all the conduit was being installed under the ground. And this adds to the existing supercharger station on that south end. And this is very close to the parking area where the new cars are placed and the trucks pick them up for transport. The second area I want to talk about is the east entrance. They have a large pane of the glass already installed and they're continuing to do more. They've also got the concrete on the threshold poured. So a lot of activity in this particular area. It is rapidly transforming, and soon, possibly by the end of the week or early next week, all of the glass and the doors will be installed. And the third place I want to highlight today is again at the battery cathode plant. Not only is the steel structure done, as we've talked about, and they're working on the frames and the footings for the perimeter grade beam, but also concrete is already being poured on the second floor on the south end, a very large section, and that's where the rebar sections were already installed a couple of days ago. So major progress there. We look around the cathode building quite a bit so you get a good view of what's going on there, but again, just tremendous progress at the battery cathode plant. So I hope you enjoyed this video intro. I hope that you enjoyed the video itself. Again, it's a talk and fly video and a lot of information today. So thank you very much for watching and have a great day.
A special thank you to all of my outstanding Patreons for your continued encouragement and support. Patreon members get access to hundreds of high-resolution photos, previews of the future material, and direct dialogue with me. If you would like to support my channel, please consider becoming a patron using this link, which is also in the video description. Please also consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. This morning we start off on the south side, and I want to give you the view of how this area appears. You can see the Model Ys continue production and are parked on the parking area on the west, and more coming over to the shipping area. And I did see multiple shipping carriers arrive a little bit later as I was getting ready to head back to San Antonio. So more Model Ys are being picked up and transported. I thought I would fly far to the south across the power plant and down to the end of the pipe that is being prepared for pulling underneath the Colorado River. That's that long purple pipe that you see on the right hand side of the screen. And we're approaching here where the structure was started up about a month or so ago, about the same time as that pipe, and you can see the roof is already installed and they're getting ready to start with the walls. You can see the south end where the pipe will terminate and then be connected into the water treatment plant. You can see some of the activity with all the earth moving and the trenching and just preparing to connect that pipe all the way from here down to the river, under the river, and then over to Giga-Texas where it'll be further connected. So we're going to fly along the purple pipe that you see here. This is a treated water pipe, and it'll be used for a variety of purposes. Part of it may be the irrigation system of Giga-Texas, but this is a very large pipe. It's about 36 inches or 1 meter in diameter, so quite a bit of water will be going through this area. Also, that black pipe that you see there is a 30-inch or about 0.75 meters, and this is for additional water that will go towards the north under the river and then serve Giga-Texas and probably some more of the area around this factory. But here's a good look of Giga-Texas and the Colorado River from the east, looking sort of northwest. And just wanted to give you a little bit different perspective here. You can see the green belt, you can see the dirt road right now, but eventually this will be a perimeter road, and it will wrap around from the south all the way to the east and over towards the battery cathode plant. So you can see about where that's going to eventually be, and we'll be looking for that construction pretty soon. But now I want to fly towards the main entrance or the secondary entrance on the east side, because there's a lot of progress. So we'll catch up on the narration when we get a little bit closer. So as we approach that secondary entrance, you can also see the parking lot coming underneath the nose of the drone here. Again, I should think that we'll see some paving pretty soon. But I really wanted to concentrate on this secondary entrance area. You can see large sections of glass has already been installed, and they're actually installing one piece right now. That's that yellow sort of truss that's holding up the glass as the crews are installing the glass panels. And you can see that the 2 of the 4 trailers are already empty with that crate, and we'll see the truck taking those empty crates across to the west side of the highway a little bit later in the video. But overall, the secondary entrance is really coming along today. And now we're going to fly a little bit farther to the south along the body in white structure. You can see the cargo loading areas and the trucks are very active. And here is that expanded cargo loading area. Most of the dirt now, with the exception of that one trench, is prepared. We should see rebar and then paving soon. And you can see those 3 new cargo doors that have been cut into the wall. We may see some more at a later point. But I'm pulling away here to show you a couple of interesting developments. First, you can see more materials are being stored in this material storage area. But what I really want to show you is the amount of work that's going on in this clearing area and the level that it's becoming. Take a look at the dump trucks. Those are very large dump trucks, and then the berm or the grade that they're driving on is very high. It's about probably nearly 10 meters tall, or about 33 feet tall, and they continue to add dirt, as you can see. So the grade of this and whatever they're going to construct on it really coming along. So very interesting to watch, and we'll continue to monitor that. But now we're flying over the stamping machine structure area. You can see more trucks here delivering and ready to pick up some of the stamping excess material, and then that will be taken over for recycling. They actually store many of those trucks in the interim and the east yard area, and on other videos and maybe on my next video I'll show you a close-up of those trucks with the stamping extra parts. But here we're approaching the south end. Right now there's cars ready for transport. The crews were preparing to bring more of the vehicles over here and ready for transport, and by the end of the video when I was heading home, a lot more transports were picking up vehicles. You can also see in the parking area the number of vehicles that have been produced and getting ready for shipping off to customers. I want to show you this. This is the stamping extension area. You can notice this large sort of a dump truck pulling in. This most likely is to pick up waste materials and other things that they need to be taken away for clearing out of the site, and just shows you a lot of work still going on the inside that we can't see, unfortunately, but they're preparing for that stamping extension area and also for General Assembly lines 2 and 3. This shows you that platform area. They're putting another one of those dumpsters up on the platform for movement inside. Again, because of all the installation of production equipment and the excess materials that need to be carted away. But here's a closer view of all of the vehicles parked and ready to be moved. And you can see many of the Model Ys on movement, and they're heading over towards that transportation area. Also see that supercharger area with the tents. Well, they're being joined by 20 new of these superchargers. And these were stored in the material yard on the east side for a while. We've been talking about this is where they would eventually go. This is a significant increase in the number of supercharger capabilities on this end of the building. And by the looks of it, probably by the end of the week, they will be functional. So now I'm going to wrap around the building. We're heading from the south to the north along the west side of General Assembly. The General Assembly on the right-hand side here, this part of the structure is being built out for General Assembly lines 2 and 3. The loading docks here with the levelers were installed in my previous video, and it looks like they're pretty much completed now. And you can also see trucks that are lined up on the northern cargo bays, which is bringing a lot more production materials and equipment, which is great. I'm getting the drone down a little bit lower, just trying to give you a view inside to get an idea of what it looks like. But a lot of progress going on inside to help prepare for additional production capability at Giga-Texas. So I'm going to fly along the length of the building, and I'll pick up the narration when we get to the northwest corner. Now that we're at the northwest corner area, I'm going to bring a drone up over the roof section just to show you how that HVAC ducting area looks. You can also see in those sort of that tannish containers, those are more solar panels, so that installation is going to continue, and you can see crews preparing to continue that solar installation. This is the part of the T that has been widened so far, and you can see more of the mounts in those blue containers and more solar panels prepared for installation in this area as well. I also want to show you it looks like crews are preparing for the next enclosure installation on the third from the right, and hopefully we'll see that coming up pretty soon. But here's a close view of the work that they are preparing to do. Now as we pull back, we'll go ahead and show you some of the progress that's happening with the grass installation. Over the last 4 days or so, this all area was just dirt, and now it's been filled in with grass, and this gives you an idea of the extent. The irrigation system that they installed is functional. I actually saw them watering with the irrigation system. And you can see more crews here both putting in sod and doing a excavation around the base of the cyber berm, and they're installing more irrigation system on the outside of that berm as well. And also we see crews preparing to install irrigation along the parking lot area, and again another shot of the machinery that are digging trenches next to that cyber berm. But overall, this area is really continuing to transform, and with all the grass and the plants that have been planted so far, it really makes the area look nice. This is another area. You can see those purple pipes, and this is where they're going to be installing more irrigation on this side, and then the grass will continue on that dirt path. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the north end of the building and the activity that is going on. In front of us are the two platforms for the battery cell structure for the 3rd and 4th floor. and we're looking at the plastics manufacturing area and the platform for that, and then the paint shop. These green containers are still waiting to be moved. I'm not sure what exactly that is, but it looks like components for the inside of the paint shop. Again, I have heard that ovens have been, or at least a new oven for curing the paint has arrived recently, so they may be installing a secondary oven, and that may be what that is. But I'm going to go ahead and fly the drone up over the power lines, and we're going to proceed over to the battery cathode plant. So we'll do a long pullback and give you an idea of how the site looks today on the way to the battery cathode plant. So hopefully you enjoyed that pullback, and it also gives you an idea of the progress and changes that have happened along the way over here. The battery cathode plant itself continues to get more roof and floor decking materials. The crane is still waiting for disassembly, as you can see on the east side. Also on the north end here, it looks like they are preparing possibly for a ramp loading area on this side, but continue to monitor that and see what they end up doing. The crews with the man lifts along the steel right now are continuing to install more of the bolts and hardware to finish off the steel structure and make sure everything is torqued accordingly. You can also see on the ground floor those brown containers. Those are tool chests and other components and equipment they need to continue the next phase of construction. And a lot of the man lifts show that they're really busy with making sure that that hardware is installed. Also on the west side here, the electrical conduit continues to expand, and you can see how it looks sort of like a V on the north side, and then more of the conduit heading towards the factory itself. And then as we fly further to the south, to just give you an idea of the activity here, you'll also note that the second floor has been poured with concrete in a few areas. You can see the guys driving on those machines. Those are called helicopters, and they help to flatten out the concrete. The concrete must have been poured maybe about an hour or less before I arrived for this particular video. On the ground, you can see the yellow forms being put around the perimeter grade beam. Again, that will form the base of where the walls will be, and goes around the perimeter of the factory itself. But here's another look at some of the concrete that has been poured, and the guys on those helicopters flattening out and leveling out the concrete. And another good shot at the perimeter grade beam, and also some trenching for electrical conduit as well. So I'll give you a real close look at the work that's going on, and it looks like there's going to be some more columns on this second floor installed. You can see where those footing kind of bases are laid out, and it looks like a group of 16 or 12 or 16 of them. But as we continue back to the north, you can see the trench work that's being done. This will be for utilities, most likely either plumbing or electrical conduit. And the forms for the perimeter grade beam continue to move towards the north. And this section here has the floor decking installed, and they're also installing some of that rebar mesh, which means that concrete for there will be coming pretty soon. Also, you can see more of the crews installing the hardware to complete that steel structure. And this just gives you a good view inside this portion of the battery cathode plant. And as I pull back, this will be a good view also of the Liebherr crane that looks like its job is done. Those pieces of wood next to it are shoring, and that's used to help support the crane as it's doing its job. So we're going to fly now from the battery cathode plant across the Martin Marietta concrete plant that you see here over to the area where the new permanent electrical switch substation and megapack location will be constructed. As you note, not a lot of activity here today, and that is, again, they're waiting for the final permits to allow the construction to begin and also to connect this water detention pond right in front of us with the storm water pipe that's stored just to the south, and we'll see that in a second. This entrance kind of area looks like a giant E. I wonder if this is E for Elon, but probably not, but I thought you might find that kind of interesting. But here is the stormwater pipe that's just waiting for the permits so that they can begin the installation of that pretty soon. And then I'm also going to just give you a close look at some of the componentry for the permanent electrical substation that's been stored here. A lot of trailers now, the Sabre trailers, these are the same people that installed the temporary switchyard, and it looks like some more equipment is starting to arrive. So hopefully we'll get the permits soon and we'll start seeing the construction of the electrical substation. So there you have it, a quick look at Giga-Texas on 27 July 2022 and how it appeared today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and the information that was presented. Have a great day.